I lost my internet.
We are talking about execute.
Huh. So guys, using exec command, you can execute inside the container anything. You can execute any executable if it is available inside a container. But using the same command, you can interact with you can go inside a container. So see here, this is my host machine. This is my inside a container. So here, I'm inside a container now. Exit. I'm outside of the container. I'm inside a container. I'm outside of the container like that. So how do I go inside a container? This command. Now, how do I access the container from outside? So you need to have IP address. So how do I get the IP address of the container? You know that right now I just run this command, but again I'm running. So let's say you want to run this container and you want to get IP address. So docker inspect and run this. The IP address is this one, and it's a web server, so I can access with HTTP, HTTP curl, HTTP, dub, and you see here it works. So this way you can access the container from through the network, but you are inside. I want to teach you something else. Here, the same network, if I run, look at my screen here, same container, if I try to browse from the my browser, it's not accessible. So why it is like that? So for that we need to understand that this is your host machine VM right now. It can be host also, and you are running the container here and here. So your container has IP address. Mind it here. Your container is having IP address, and if you are inside of this host machine, you can access this container directly. But if you are outside, you cannot access this container directly. No. So what you need to do, you have to go via node network. So node, can you access it? Yes, I can access it. So what you need to say, you need to enable the port forwarding. So you need to tell when I hit to the some port on this host IP address, it should redirect to container IP address. This is called port forwarding. How can we do that? So you can use -p options. Let me show you. So docker run -p. Are you comfortable with this command, all of you? This command?
Yes,
Are you comfortable with it? Yeah.
yes.
So guys, I will add -p options, and it's a node port, container port. Container is running with 80 port, I know that. And you see that compare between this here. So now if you see that these all containers port forwarding is not happen, but this container I am port forwarding. So here I am saying, hey, from the host machine, host port number to container port number redirect. So now what is IP address? The IP address for my host is this one and 80 port, and if I hit the things, now I can access the container. So this is the way I can access the containers. So what I taught you, some of the stuff which is including how to go inside a container and how to access the container from outside. This is the way. Are you able to understand that?
Yeah, Rajesh.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some more commands uh, here, and that is called docker commands. I'll just type it here, and I've created one page which will help you to get started. So where is this docker? uh, should be on top. uh, no, this, just again, here it is. So guys, I have created one commands collection, so all the commands which you want to learn. So guys, one by one, let's go through this. Info command, yes, I showed you the demo. You'll get the complete information about docker. So docker info here, docker version I showed you, attach command I showed you, cp command. So cp command, you can copy the files of from host machine to container. So for example, docker ps, there's one command, there's one container which I'm going to use, this one. So docker exec this container lstmt. See here, this is in the tmp of the container, there's no files. So docker cp, and there's a file I'm going to copy. Do you have any files? But they get docker cp, get this file. To which container you want to copy? This container. Where you exactly want to copy? tmp locations. And inside this now you have this file. So using cp command you can do that to copy files and all. Create, I showed you. Diff command, if any changes you do, addition, deletion, or modification in the container, you can see through the diff command. So see, just now I copied one file, so now you can see that here. Exec command I showed you, inspect command I showed you, kill command I showed you, purge show you, port. So any commands, any containers where you do the port forwarding, you can see using the port. So docker port, and this container which I did not forward it, so you see empty results. But there's one container which I port forward, which is this one, first one, and you see that port forwarding information. That is one. Any containers you can rename it also. So for example, if you want to rename some containers here, docker ps, let's say this pensive saha, I want to rename it to docker rename it, this one to raju, and here I see that raju has come. Now restart, ram, run, start, stop, and pause you done. This will be assignment for you for this. Now these are the commands which will help you to troubleshoot the containers. So what is this? So docker log, first docker ps. I want to see the logs of the container. So docker logs, and you can see the logs of the PID1. I repeat, PID1, mind it. So here ps command, you know that. State command, which you want to know, stats command, for if you want to know any containers, how much cpu they are demanding and how much ram they are using from the system, how many networks and block input output. So all these things stats command will tell you. It's like monitoring command. So here you got to know the logs of the container, whether process container is running or not, how much cpu and ram, network and io is using, and so on. So stats command, top command is little unique. Okay, so top command is little unique. So here if you see that, let me show you this container. Docker, look at my screen here, docker execute this container ps-ef. So right now is in this inside this container there's only one process running, because the base machine, base image, base container actually. So how do I know the system process of which? See that how many containers running. So container d, if I grep it the system ps-ef grep and enter, see there's so many containers running. Now I don't know what is my one two containers. How do I know? How do I know the system process of that container? So there's so many containers running. So simple, docker top command, if I'll tell me, if you use it with a container id, then I'll get to know, oh, system process this one and all. So system process id you can get it using this one. Now this is the last command, event. So event command will do what? So see here, you saw that you can check this logs of the containers, process of the containers, stats of the container, top of the container, PSI, the process ID and all. But this container will manage, will monitor the server actually. Okay, server docker d. So can we see that here? So docker events, enter. Now you see the system got stuck, not exactly not stuck. It's streaming the, you know uh, the docker d. So I'm sending the docker d from the other console. See here, and you see create, connect to the network and start and all stuff like that. So this is monitoring the server actually. So yeah, this is the command which you use every time while working with Docker in your laptop. I repeat, these commands, whatever I taught you, you're going to use in laptop only, not in the production servers. Okay. So now, did you understand the Docker, all of you? All of you?
Yeah, I just got a real idea.
So basically, what is the idea here? Whenever you want some applications, you create a Docker run the Docker run an image name. That's all. But the next question is, okay, fine. You got the Docker image today from Docker Hub, which was lakhs of images are there. But how do you create your own image for your product, for your applications? So that is something which you need to learn. Okay. So I feel like this is overwhelmed. There's lots of things which you have to cover and practice before you learn this one. Okay. So I'll teach you how to create your own image also. See, today I downloaded the images from the hub.docker.com, which was available public image, but you have to develop your own image also. So how do you develop an image? What is image? How to develop image? How to share image? So that we need to do. So I think 1 hour of session is required for that also. But right now I'm not covering. Why? Because I want you to practice all these commands, get comfortable so you can understand something out of it. Others, this will be going on top of you. So any questions today? You have anyone have?
Rajesh, yesterday we talked about like cloning a VM. So within Docker, like can a container be cloned?
You don't need to clone the container. Why? Because the reason is very simple. Uh, Container itself is a clone copy of image with the
Okay.
resources running. So you don't need to clone. Now the question probably what you're asking, Rajesh, I have a container. I did modification, some modified. I got inside a container, I did modify, and I want to create an image out of it. So can you do that? Yes, that's what I will teach you in the working with image.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
so if you want to create another container, Docker run again. It's just it takes blink of your eyes, blink it, and you get the another container. No need to wait for it. Correct now?
Ajay, is there any
yes.
other
Yeah.
tool apart from Docker, or Docker is the most popular at the moment?
That's the reason everyone is using Docker. You just
Right,
tell me anyone who's not using now Docker. Correct now?
right, right. But are there any other tools?
So many, so many.
So many.
This
Okay,
we call it a container interface. So, guys, any questions as such, try to spend some time here. So, let me show you that's container interface, we call it. Okay. So, container interface. So, here it is. And see, these are the options which are available. So many, guys, more than 15, 20. So, these are the options. These are the options. Some of the popular one is Containerd, Cryo, Kata, AWS Firecracker. This I have to start learning next week. Next week I'm starting this one. So Containerd, if you need, I'll teach you. Cryo, Kata, and all. Rocket is there. So many these things are there actually.
that, that's great info. Thanks, Rajat.
Yeah, but don't spend time over there because your priority right now to complete all this what we have in TCP.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so guys, I'm going to wrap up this session. So next
So,
week
Rajesh,
I'll
one
start.
thing. Sorry, Rajesh. Sorry.
Yeah,
Uh, this is the same we did it for virtual machines, so we can do this in that AWS, right?
yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Please again hear me out. The whatever the tools you can install in the virtual machines in your
Mhm.
laptop, or you can install the virtual machine in AWS, or you can install in your laptop. All are same. Now container is little different, which I taught you, and I'll ask you to get comfortable with it. Because for the container, you need image. That what application you want to run, that image you need it from the Docker Hub, and accordingly you can practice it. Got it?
Yeah.
So everything you can practice in your laptop with a VMware or
Mhm.
VirtualBox,
Mhm.
except if you want to run AWS, you have to go to AWS.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week we'll start with a topic which is called how to create an image. That is our, I think, 1 hour.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.